Already off the rails. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Keefe at GhostCultMan.com. Already technical difficulties. What are you going to do on a Thursday in the world? But I'm here. Thanks for being here. This is our weekly show. We're here every week talking rock and metal news, just making sure everybody's here. As usual, the best experience for this show is YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, but also I like hanging out with y'all on TikTok. Appreciate everybody that was here for the live stream collab yesterday between this show and my other podcast, the Glacially Musical podcast. And yeah, definitely glad to see you all here today. Hopefully y'all are having a good week. It has been a frightful and tough time in the world, as I usually close by saying that. It goes without saying it's been a crazy week of extremes. And so, first and foremost, please, take care of yourselves, focus on you, don't get caught up in all the crazy shit out there. And, first and foremost, definitely got to reflect on things as it is, of course, the anniversary of 9/11. Never far from my thoughts. I'm a New Yorker first and foremost, even though I live in California. And I was there on 9/11. I watched 9/11 happen. Hold on one second. My least favorite thing is the clack of the keyboards. So yeah, 9/11, obviously we've had a very fraught political week, which I'm not going to do political stuff here. David Wright is back 50-50 and the Grizzly is here. What up? Again, just putting it out in the universe. It's been hard this week. There's a lot going on. Check in on your friends. Try not to we don't live in a life. Nothing in life is really a series of absolutes. We are all very, divided right now. Wolfbat is here and Bubba Ranks is here. Bubba Ranks 23. So, just tread lightly, take good care of yourself, focus on those around you. And, 24 years since 9/11. Crazy talk. I used to see the towers all the time. I worked downtown, midtown, all around the town in New York City. Walked through the towers. My father actually worked across the street from the World Trade Center at Church Street at the main post office in New York City for the longest time. And so, yeah, just tough stuff. Hey, Dillinger's here. Don is here. Melissa's here. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all. You're always here. Good to see you. Thanks for all the everydayers. Don is here. Clack. Yeah. But yeah, let's without getting too deep in the woods of everything else going on in the world, let's kick things off. We got a busy show, and I'm gonna kick it now. Tough week of losses in the music world. Alan Blickel, who was the original drummer of Baroness, along with his brother Brian, who played bass for Baroness for many years, died. Just 51 years old. The news of this was broken by Laura Pleasance of Kylisa. John from Baroness also, put up a pretty good remembrance of him. Killer drummer, and surely was important to, Baroness's ascent. He was part of their band from the very first releases, the first EPs, the first albums, and then especially the acclaimed albums Red and Blue, as well as Yellow and Green before he departed the band. He survived that terrible bus crash. Dillinger, Slayer, God Hates Us All came out on 9/11. I have a whole bunch of 9/11 metal history coming up in literally seconds, but you're right. Guido, who was one of the original drummers of Sodom, mid-90s drummer for Sodom, died. I interviewed Tom Angel Ripper earlier in the year, and he was talking about that period of Sodom where a lot of guys were on drugs, including Tom. And I think he was referring to Guido. honestly. So very sad. New Forest Coven is here. Kieran here's Colin is here. Vampire, Brandon Crawford, Blackwater Rising. Thanks for being here. A lot of people on YouTube and TikTok passing by today. Also, Polly Holiday, infamous for playing Flo on the TV show Alice, as well as a bunch of other stuff, popularized the saying "Kiss my grits." I think it was in Deadpool and Wolverine. She was a babe, and she was a great comedic actress. So very funny. $1. Listening to Agent Orange. Oh, so good. Yeah, for real. Good record. Sodom. Celebrating birthdays. Finally, on to some positive stuff. Celebrating some birthdays this past week, including our homie Corey Pierce of God Forbid, the drummer, also the drummer of Disciples of Verity, album producer, metal personality, not as popular as Doc Coyle, but his bandmate, but pretty fucking awesome guy. Glad to call him a friend. We exchanged some texts this week. Dino Cazzara celebrated a birthday over last weekend. Fear Factory, new Fear Factory tour kicking off this week. Also, Jason Teaser of Origin. He's also the live vocalist for Psychroptic. He used to be the vocalist of Skinless. Yes, Don was on 9/5, and my birthday is next week. There will be a birthday live stream. Supper Point is here. Bell's Ringing is here. Happy birthday to all my Virgo brothers. And here's Mikey from The Challenge, the drummer. Good guy, good drummer from my favorite Brooklyn pop punks. The Challenged. Check it out if you like pop punk and ska. Celebrating album anniversaries this week in metal history, and Justice for All by Metallica. Also, two Slayer records this week. God Hates Us All was released on 9/11, as was Repentless, the last Slayer album so far, probably the final Slayer record. I was a fan of Repentless, probably one of the few people that really enjoyed the record. Bang Tango, oh my God. Other bands celebrating album anniversaries, 2 for Iron Maiden, Dance of Death and Book of Souls. Warrant, Cherry Pie. Poor Janie Lane. She's my cherry pie. Soil, Scars, this is their first album with Halo and shit like that. Great album. Kiss Alive turned 50. Kind of no fanfare from the band I was talking to. Hey, Ren is here. What's up, Ren? I was talking to my friend Ken Pierce of Piercing Metal earlier, and we were like, it's funny that Kiss didn't do anything to celebrate Alive turning 50. But again, maybe because they sold the brand, that stuff's being worked on. Don might know, and certainly Nick Cameron from the Glacially Musical podcast would know if Kiss has already reissued these things probably a bunch of times. But I'm a little surprised. Motley Crue. Dr. Feelgood. I did find out, it's because of Motley Crue. I discovered that the reason hospital walls are painted that light green is because it's the easiest color to wash blood off. I never knew that. Thanks, Motley Crue. Partner, Bang Tango. Jesus Christ. Biohazard Uncivilization also released on 9/11, on actual 9/11/2001. That was their next to last album with Evan Seinfeld before the big split with him, and now they are working on a comeback record coming soon. I'm very excited. Rock'n'Rolla celebrated 51 years this week from Judas Priest, the debut. Surprised they were never sued by Coca-Cola. This incredible Soundgarden record was released this week. Just unbelievable record. Camelot has an album anniversary this week. Gamma Ray, Satyricon, Ozzy's Patient Number 9. There's supposedly an unreleased new Ozzy record needing to come on, but hopefully that's going to come up. Arch Enemy had a record this week in 2017. There's Iron Maiden again, because why not? Once is not enough. Amon Amarth. Queensryche. Hopefully future Queensryche series done. Let's just try to be nice to Nick the next few weeks, in the next 6 or 8 weeks, and see if he'll go for it. A Motorhead album. Merciful Fate, the classic. This is a great one. Don't Break the Oath. Dark Throne. Killer Dwarves, not to be confused with Dwarves, two good punk bands with similar names. Angra. Amorphous, I love the last 10 years of Amorphous' career. To me is as good as the first 10 years. And yeah, so that's all the metal history. Just for some shiggles, as I am wont to do, we're not corporate backed. We do sell some advertising here at Ghost Cult, but if you want to throw us a tip, I appreciate tips for good service. You can. We are going to launch subscriptions for YouTube and our Substack and bundle those into little custom live streams and private live streams. If people are interested, I'm going to make a price menu this weekend. And also, again, we do accept tips or super chats, super likes, super thanks. Those are all appreciated. So here's the pay menu. Here's where you can pay. And now let's get on with the rest of the show. And it's time to start with the features. And features this week, we just dropped a prog rock mini masterpiece. Little King is a band I wasn't too familiar with, but we hooked up with their publicist, Asher Media Relations, to drop their brand new lyric video from their upcoming 8th album. Sort of an underground progressive rock band I wasn't familiar with, but they are fun and remind me of like late 70s, early 80s Rush and a few other bands. So I really dig what they're doing. Also this week, I interviewed Frederick Leclerc of Sinsanum. I had to practice how to say Sinsanum 18,000 times. Frederick, of course, you know him, best known for his time in Dragon Force as their bassist. He is currently playing in Creator. He's also an incredible death metal guitarist and just a technically proficient dude. And Sinsanum was a band he founded with Joey Jordison, late Joey Jordison, formerly of Slipknot. And they made their first record. Joey passed away. Frederick's dad died. And then he wrote this record as kind of a therapy. So really cool that he had this outlet. Very sad stuff, of course. And the current lineup of Sinsanum also features Sean Zatorsky of Doth. That's an Atlanta band for you, Don. And also Mayhem, Tilla Shar of Mayhem on guitar and occasional backing vocals, among others. And just a killer new album. One of the best death metal albums this year, for sure. Pink Shift is a band I met 3 years ago at Riot Fest 2022 or 3, and they're really wonderful, and they have a brand new album out, Earth Keeper, little socially conscious record, and they are, sort of a pop-punk emo band, but they really leaned into their new metal and sort of grungy new metal side. So this new record is fucking heavy, it's very punk rock, it's very proactive and political in a good way. So I really like this band. They're out on Hopeless Records right now, and this is a fun chat. I chatted with the whole band. It's pretty great. Also, just a reminder, we recently interviewed Kenny Hickey of Typo Negative for his new band, Sun Don't Shine, relatively new, last few years. He's still got Silver Tomb, he, formerly of Typo, and Sun Don't Shine has a new EP out and a brand new single out, and probably a few more singles before the full-length debut releases, and that is a super group with Kenny and Johnny from Typo Negative, as well as Kirk from Crowbar and Down, and Todd Strange, formerly of Crowbar and Down. Also, just in case you didn't miss it, Don is here in the chat, probably still. He interviewed Marissa Nadler for her new album, New Radiations, which is out now. You can check that out wherever you listen to podcasts. This show will be a podcast. And we appreciate y'all. Rick is here. Janine Kenny is here. JS is here. Wrestle Rat is here. Annie, good to see you guys. Still in the shower. Jesus. I don't want to think about you naked listening to my voice, bro. And when I saw you coming out of the shower that day, thank you to everybody that entered and supported us on our recent giveaways, including Wardruna and my podcast with Don, the Glacially Musical podcast. Please don't send me any pictures, Don, please. I'm scarred enough. I had therapy today. It was really hard between everything. So, man, thanks for everybody who entered these giveaways. We are working on a few more giveaways now, so stay tuned for that. We give away tickets, merch, vinyl, CDs sometimes, between all our concert tickets, all kinds of things between our different collabs with brands. So I'm very proud of that. And just a reminder, you can also check out the brand new Glacially Musical podcast. We did a live stream last night. It's already up on podcasts, I think, by tonight. Paradise Lost has a new Typo Negative feel. I agree. I think they're a huge influence, actually, on Paradise Lost. And I think maybe they even influenced each other. So it'd be something we could talk about if Nick didn't hate Typo Negative so much. And now it's time for the news rundown. That was all the features. And of course, we always start with metal festivals, and we have just going to zip through this because it's mostly stuff upcoming, but pretty cool. Oh, and big in the screen here for those of you not on TikTok. Troy is back. What's up, Troy? Executed. Fun name. Anywho, metal festivals. Here's what we do. Inferno Festival has announced a bunch more bands. So now Enslaved, Samael, The Hounds of Hell, Incantation, Hordem Rife, Darvaza, Fordsman, Mir. Very good lineup taking shape in Norway next April. Also in Norway, Beyond the Gates has announced Emperor in a special event for them, headlining the entire festival. Beyond the Gates is in the summertime, and it's a more purely black metal and not so much death metal like Inferno Festival's black metal, death metal, a little bit of everything. And Beyond the Gates is strictly black metal and is, mostly in these legendary venues over 4 days, over a long weekend in Bergen. Emperor 1349, Arcturus, Ruins of Beverast, great band. I've seen them live. Spectral Wound, Warning, not The Warning, but Warning, Fortress, and some others. So pretty impressive. And then some other stuff we've been talking about. So I broke the story today. I know people don't believe it when they don't see a story in 18 places. If it's not in Blabbermouth and it's not in Lamb Goat and it's not in Metal Injection, then it doesn't exist. But not to disparage my peers. Oh, Ruins of Beverast is killer, Dillinger. I saw them at Maryland Death Fest. So good. So System of a Down played their big stadium shows, right? And they were all pretty much a trial run for what's expected to be the now announced European tour for next year, which we'll talk about. But mainly, one of the things they did at this festival, and I know everybody is talking about the Korn video. I don't want to talk about that shit that much. But one of the things that that happened is they teased Sick New World 2026 during all of the System of a Down concerts. System of a Down's management puts on Sick New World. System of a Down was part of the first two Sick New Worlds. They were not part of the one that got canceled this year. And it just makes sense. They're going to bring back the festival next spring. And it makes sense for System to do it again because they are going to Europe. So they'll need a warm-up show or two before they go to Europe. Metallica was supposed to co-headline this year with Linkin Park. It's very possible they will be on it again. Maybe even Linkin Park as well. And also the other bands that have at least been playing and supporting System of a Down, Deftones, Korn, and Avenged Sevenfold, tangentially either co-headlined the Sick New World or they had done related events to Sick New World. So Johnny Balls is here. What's up, Johnny? Robert Colton is here. So be on the lookout. I think we're going to get a Sick New World announcement late in the year, early next year for April or May. Paradise Lost. Speaking of you, Don, Paradise Lost has been announced for 70 Tons of Metal. They have a new album coming out. 70 Tons of Metal doing a very nice job this year announcing the bands well before the cruise. Baby Saja, I host this show myself, so no one's going to be a mod on my show. No thanks. So here's like the Sick New World visuals at the System of a Down shows, just in case you were curious. They're sort of out of order. Death of Glory Festival is taking place soon. True Sounds of Liberty, Cold as Life, Slapshot, Final 2026 is their final performances. Total Chaos, Skinhead, Ignite, DPI. These are great fucking bands. This looks pretty conservative. Military Image, kind of fun. Levitation Fest is coming up, and again in Austin in a few weeks. Mastodon, Acid Bath, The Sword, Blood Incantation, The Armed, Castle Rat, Pavement, Built to Spill, Boy Harsher. Looks amazing. One of these years I've got to go. Scalp. I know, bro. Scalp. Louder Than Life is coming up in a few weeks. We'll be covering that. Very excited about that. Aftershock is coming up right after that. I'm hoping to still go cover it. We shall see. It looks pretty rad, especially the second, third days. Punk Rock Christmas is coming to Arizona, and it looks like we'll be covering that, as well as Punk in the Park, LA, and San Pedro. Hell's Heroes Fest has announced their big lineup for the next spring. This looks amazing. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Damnation is coming up. We usually cover Damnation every year. Hopefully, we can cover it again. I would be excited to. Wrecking Ball, I talked about this. This is Frozen Soul's headline little mini festival in Dallas, Fort Worth. Frozen Soul, Suffocation, Devourment, 200 stab wounds, Houston's Own Creeping Death, Ingrown, No Cure, Body Box, Tribal Gaze, who dropped a new song today, Stabbing, Flesh Rot, and many more. That's Bastardane on there too, with James Hetfield's son. All right, that's all the festivals now for the concert tours. And again, some of these ongoing, some of these coming up soon, some of these starting tonight. Twisted Sister, this is the big news of the week. I don't know how I feel about this. Twisted Sister reuniting to celebrate 50 years of not taking it. It took Twisted Sister like 7-8 years to even get famous as a band. They are not getting back together with Mark Mendoza, which is super sad. They don't have a band photo. They don't have a logo. They don't have a tour dates or poster yet, but they are coming back. Again, I was very good with them retiring, and, you know, I don't know. I don't know how good this is, but we'll see. I have been fond of Dee Snider. I've been fond of him. Wardruna, I just saw this show the other night. Stay tuned for a video review of this, probably Sunday or Monday. Really killer tour. I highly recommend you go. It's beautiful and amazing. Wardruna basically is your Skaldic Viking music, and Chelsea Wolfe is doing her mix of Americana, dark folk, and industrial metal. Very cool shit. This tour is only on for a few weeks more, so definitely don't miss it. Nine Inch Nails is wrapping up their Peel It Back tour the next week or two. Stay tuned for that. Also, Mudvayne kicks off their 25th anniversary tour from LD50 tonight with Static X and Vended. Greg Tribbett's wife, Debbie, passed away this week, so he is not doing the tour. They have a replacement guitarist for him. Very sad. Send our sympathies out to his family. What a terrible thing to go through. Slayer, once again, coming up in a week and a half in Hershey Park, Pennsylvania. Looks pretty rad. Judas Priest, Alice Cooper kicking off soon with Corrosion Conformity opening. Ancients is on tour. We're looking forward to this. They were just here in Oakland. I could not go. Or this coming weekend, they were in Oakland. I cannot go. Dark Angel kicked off their brand new comeback headline tour, supporting their brand new album, Extinction Level Event. It is not on streaming. You can only buy a physical copy. I kind of respect that. Drunk with Buds podcast is here. What's up, Buds? Louis Gouda is here. Saint Just is here. Pantera continues and will wrap up their Amon Amarth and King Parrot tour soon. We have coverage of that on our site. I've been gushing about this series of shows. God Forbid is going to support Life of Agony next weekend over a couple of shows in the East Coast, and these shows are taking place in the Atlantic Coast and South. God Forbid, Darkest Hour, Bleeding Through, and Nora. What a sick lineup that is, huh? Coven is on tour right now in South America, and they are recording every show for their live album. Critics are not being so kind with the Dark Angel record. Dude, I have a review coming, and I'm going to clap back on that. I have an interview coming with Gene Hoglan where we talked openly about the record. Not sure what they fucking want. The record is not AI. Not sure what, the critics are mad. They didn't send a promo to anybody. So unless they bought it, they don't have anything to go by except one single. So I got to be honest with you. Listen, I'm the first one to tell you. Music journalists, listen, I know I know a lot of stuff about music. I've been to like 6,000 shows. I played like 2,000 shows with bands. I've attended as a fan since I'm a little boy, a lot of concerts. I have a minor in musicology. I majored in journalism. Most music writers don't have the background I have. It doesn't make me better. I don't think I know everything. I'm wrong sometimes. I thought Rick Mirror was going to be better than Tom Brady. What do I know about things? But fuck Tom Brady. But anyway, no one has heard this record, honestly and truly. They will not send it out. It has nothing to do with it not being good. They don't want it leaked. And they wanted people to buy the record on physically, CD or, Gene Hoglan basically and his partner run that record label that put out their record, Reversed Records. And, he's like, I don't need a record label. I don't need to owe money to a bank at this stage in my career. I make a lot of money from being in different bands. I love Dark Angel. It's my band. And why would I give away my power and my rights to a record label when I just need distribution and physical production? So smart guy to me. I think it's a smart guy. And I have a review of that record coming. Anyway, reminder, Acid Bath has been playing a bunch of shows. They got some festival dates coming up, and they have this big arena show in NOLA. Agnostic Front has some tour dates coming up. Let's see who's in the Keith killing it. Thanks, bro. David Wright, let's fucking go. I don't think it's that David Wright, but I kind of wish it was. Dark Angel phoning it in. That's the main gripe. I don't know. I don't think so, but I understand. Is it their best work? No. You know how hard it is to come back after a huge gap and they lost Jim Durkin, who was their main songwriter. You know, it's hard, man. It's fucking hard. I hear you, though. I don't think they're phoning it in. Better Lovers coming up tour. Speaking of Dillinger Compound, we just ran our review today of the Jerry Cantrell concert tour review, and I know Greg was not on the tour, and I didn't have anything to compare it to because I only know Jerry's band with Greg, but apparently he didn't even try to replace. Greg is so good at doing Alice in Chains music and Jerry Cantrell solo music that Jerry didn't even try to replace him. He just kind of used his own band to fill in the parts, which is interesting. Tonight in Hollywood, just in case you were curious, is the 60th birthday celebration of Norwood Fisher, the co-founder of Fishbone. This is an incredible celebration of music and a huge who's who of music legends to go jam with them. Norwood Fisher, of course, Money Mark from Beastie Boys and rap productions, Blackbird McKnight, Flea, Bobby Easton, Corey Glover, Derek Day, Fernando Pullon, Israel Joseph I, that's your man there from Bad Brains, John Stewart, not that John Stewart, Kristen Wiegard, Lonnie Marshall, whose brother used to be in the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Aretha the Freak Marshall, Nikki Glaspie, Roberta Freeman, Stephen Perkins, and Will Calhoun, and many more. Michael McGooey is here. Harris is here. What's up? Just trying to say hi to people as they come by. Sludge Metal Cereal is here. Hello. Friends of the show, Turkey Vulture, are dropping a brand new single, their re-recorded version of the Leadbelly song In the Pines, best known from the Nirvana Unplugged. Big fan of Turkey Vulture and their related bands and projects. So they have a show coming up for Turkey Vulture around Halloween to debut In the Pines live, as well as some open mic solo stuff from Jessie May, the vocalist, friend to the show again. Last chance to see The Who. I know they've canceled and rescheduled a few shows due to illness. I hear that Roger Daltrey is really struggling with his health, but he's trying to make it through these last dates. I don't think I'm going to get to go see them, which is a shame because I never did. They were not really ever my band, but I do love Eminence Front and a few other hits. And on some sad news, Homies and other friends to the show, 20 Watt Tombstone, killer band out of Wausau, Wisconsin, had to cancel their entire tour. Just the realities of touring right now are really hard. And so they lost a ton of money because their tour is canceled. And they put out there's merch that they were going to sell on the tour on their website. It's on their Big Cartel site. So, I'm a big 20 Watt Tombstone fan. People have seen me rock their merch for a long time. Tom is a friend. And if you like these cool designs, definitely go support my friend Tom. I'll put a link to his shop in the description. Okay. Somebody sent a gift or something on TikTok. Wake is doing a bunch of tour dates, including St. Louis. Maybe I'll talk to Nick and see if he wants to go cover that one. They have a killer new album out. We have an interview on our YouTube with them. Check that out. CJ Ramon's birthday bash is also coming up at the Kilowatt here in San Francisco, so I kind of might like to go to that. We'll see what the date looks like and if I'm free. Also, Brass Against is coming on tour. Try not to get peed on. If you know, you know. Brass Against is playing in my backyard here in Albany, California at the Ivy Room coming up soon, but they are touring the whole country. And it'd be good to get a new record out of them. Once again, we're at the halfway point of the show. Thanks so much for being here. More than halfway. And if you want to show us some love with a tip, we like just a tip. And then just a reminder, Fable Beard Company is one of our new affiliate partners. Hey, it's me again. Here's my Fable Beard deodorant. I happen to be wearing also the Fable Beard body spray. I love these products. They're all natural. They're good for you. They don't harm you. They're not overly chemically, and they have great smells, and everything is like a D&D character. If you use our affiliate link in the description, you get money off your first order, and we get free Fable Beard products. So I'm pretty stoked on that. Other collaborators and affiliates we have, of course, includes the Lamb Goat Media Network. They just added a bunch of new sites. And, of course, StreamYard. If you want to stream like we do, hit up our link in the description for StreamYard. All right. You know, we're on all the socials. I don't know if people are just, after this week, they may just give up on social media fucking altogether. But here we go. We're on all the social things. We're on Discord. You see us pop up on Reddit. We're on Blue Sky. So if you like those things, go there. We also have a newsletter if you want to sign up for that. It's on our website and our link tree. You can sign up for our newsletter and just get one digest every week of kind of the top stories and where to watch things in our New Music Friday list, which I'll go through later. And now it's time for the rest of the news rundown, and it's all the news and the hot rumors and drama stuff. Let's do it. Oh, that's the wrong side. Here we go. Oh, ooh. Okay. We just had the big Spirit Box collab with Poppy and Amy Lee. I believe Poppy has a tour coming out, and you can now live stream Poppy's upcoming show on Veeps. That's coming soon. Check it out at Poppy's websites and socials. Would be fun to see any three of these perform this song together. Yeah, Vlad the Dad, you have a request, a song, just DM me the song, and I'll check it out if I can. But yeah, thanks. If it's your song and you want us to review it, we charge for that. But I don't charge for reviews of albums. But if you want me to review it on a live stream, I'll gladly accept a tip. Anywho, Slipknot, the debut Slipknot album was reissued in their 25th anniversary configurations last week, and it is again another platinum record was counted for. I think that's 10 million platinum for the debut Slipknot now, because it's all the same SKU, the same code number for Spotify and sales. So pretty cool. Good for Slipknot. Oasis played in LA the other day, and it was like a star-studded event. I love this picture. This is a picture, if you're watching this everywhere but TikTok, of Dave Grohl buying a bootleg shirt. I want to go to every Foo Fighters show and buy only bootleg shirts from now on. But fun times. I know James Hetfield was there. A lot of people were. James Hetfield was hanging out there with, what's his face from Dodgeball? Vince Vaughn. Wedding Crashers and Dodgeball. I'm not surprised that they're friends. Shout out to the Needle Drop. I didn't have a real graphic for this. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard took all their stuff off of Spotify, and now they let fans name their price for all their albums on Bandcamp. So King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard has the top 27 albums by sales on Bandcamp right now. That is absolutely just fucking wild. What a time to be alive, and good for those guys. Gary Holt officiated the Slayer frontman Tom Araya renewing his vows with his wife in Texas. I don't know why he's dressed like a priest. I think he's a Universalist, Unitarian Church minister. You can get that online. But yeah, Tom and his wife not getting dressed up at all for this. I have like a fun Slayer picture where all of Slayer is wearing black shirts and camo shorts, and Tom showed up in like a white t-shirt and jeans, like Schneider from One Day at a Time. He's not even the guy. Bad Omens dropped a new song. They had the #1 song in the world a couple of weeks ago and knocked out Deftones. They have a new single out, probably going to be a big hit on rock radio for them. Bring Me the Horizon has announced the 10-year anniversary of That's the Spirit. If you like the metalcore band, they are releasing limited vinyl variants. When they're gone, they're gone. Not going to get repressed, supposedly. Also, Lamb of God has announced a Black Label coffee, coinciding with the 25th anniversary of their album, New American Gospel, the debut Lamb of God album. I would imagine Lamb of God coffee is going to be pretty strong. Their non-alcoholic beer was surprisingly good, by the way. Brocardi is a British artist and dropped a brand new single and video this week, Feed My Soul, which features drums by Ray Luzier of Korn. Good stuff on this. We dropped this news today. This is really cool. Born Human, the official, authorized, and complete story of Chuck Schuldiner and death, produced by Decibel Magazine. It's written by David Gelke. David, if you don't know, is one of the main reviewer people for Decibel and Blabbermouth. Shout out to them for this. I think David also does a lot of interviews for Blabbermouth. Fun times. I don't know what this is, but Mike Patton is teasing something. I'm pretty excited about this. AVTC. This popped up on Mike Patton's thing. I don't know if this is going to be a Mr. Bungle thing. Is it going to be Phantomas? Is it going to be something different and new? Is it going to be a new collaboration? It is not going to be Faith No More, most likely, because those guys haven't talked to him in like a year and a half, which is extremely sad for me because I love Faith No More. I wish they would come back. But stay tuned for Mike Patton. Veeps. Speaking of Veeps, we talked about Poppy earlier. Veeps is just running a bunch of metal concerts on their platform. I don't know if you know this. Veeps was created by the Madden brothers and their management from Good Charlotte. So Veeps is a killer streaming platform. You can watch a lot of concerts there and see content there. I think I watched the Frank Turner documentary series there last year, and I absolutely loved it. Deftones had the #1 record in the world. And I believe White Pony and Around the Fur also returned to the Billboard charts in the top 20. Wild. Oh, is it Ben Wyman and Mike Patton? Okay. Dillinger with a hint. Tell me something. DM me the deets, my brother. But yeah, Deftones' new record's a banger. Certainly one of the best records of the year. I'm really excited about it still. This is wild. This is the brownstone Blue Oyster Cult used to live in to write their music. And so their 3,000 square foot recording studio and crash pad in New York, where they made the 1983 The Revolution by Night, not a great album, as a Blue Oyster Cult fan, just gotta say, is now for sale for $2.5 million. The building was last purchased in 1997 for $530K. Holy shit. You could own a piece of rock history. I love Blue Oyster Cult. Metallica Everything. They launched their SiriusXM channel last week, and then they have been plotting other stuff. I linked them to the Sick New World thing because I think that makes a lot of sense that they will probably do Sick New World and maybe a Sonic Temple again or something like that. Some kind of music festivals. Lots of stuff going on in the Metallica world. Clutch is going to be reissuing. They're doing a vast amount of reissues while they get ready to put out new music soon. And Clutch is redoing one of my favorite Clutch records, Psychic Warfare, from also 10 years ago. How is it 10 years ago? Oh my God. New vinyl variants, new artwork. Lacuna Coil popped up in the news again. They dropped a new music video. And interestingly enough, we got re-quoted. We were quoted in our interview with Andrea from Lacuna Coil back in the spring about his disdain for AI, and someone else interviewed him about AI, and Blabbermouth was like, remember that interview? He did this the second time this year. He's talked about AI. So thanks for Blabbermouth for resurfacing our interview. That was nice. Pete Hines, last seen, as far as I know, in a bunch of hardcore bands, and in the 80s, he was the late 80s drummer of Cro-Mags. He is back with Harley Cro-Mag and the Cro-Mags. He played on Best Wishes, which is one of their best records. He is on tour. Cro-Mag's kicking off a new tour. Harley Cro-Mag's Wired for Chaos documentary is out now. You should go watch it. It's incredible. I'm hoping to do an interview with Harley. I'm behind on my review for that documentary, but I should push it out soon. Perfect Circle is celebrating 25 years of Mère de Noms. Again, I don't know how did we get this old so fast? New vinyl variants. Doesn't look like a lot of colors, but 180 gram remastered for vinyl, apparently. So that's kind of nice. That looks kind of cool. I saw this. I was like, you know what? This is really cool. This is a Noise in Focus, 30 Years of Music Photography by Ray Lego, with musical performances by my hero, Walt Schreifels, one of my heroes, Walter of Gorilla Biscuits, Quicksand, and Rival Schools. And this is taking place in Middletown, New Jersey, with a DJ set by Primitive Sound System. So this looks really cool. 126 North Main Street in Middletown, New Jersey. Not sure if that's close to Philly. Very cool series. Also, Metal Blade has released a whiskey with rare character whiskey. So single barrel Metal Blade whiskey, limited run. I think it's about $100 a bottle. It's a little rich for my taste, and I'm not drinking a lot these days, especially whiskey, but pretty cool. I'm not mad at it. And, I love Metal Blade. And hey, Frozen Neptune is here. Hello. Good to see you. It's been a long time. Ebrace Media, Fade in PR. Almost done with the show, folks. All right. You finally find a coworker that likes metal, but by metal, they mean Disturbed and Five Finger Death Punch. I mean, I like some Disturbed, and I respect Five Finger Death Punch. I don't love their music. I don't sit around listening to them, but whatever. All right, it's time for the New Music Friday. Let's quickly run through the list. We are in the thick of September, and we have just constant deluges of albums being released, which is pretty nice. Hang on 1 second as I bust up the rundown. Albums releasing this week: Aiden Sky, The Universal Realm on Rockshots Records; Arjun Anthony Lucasen of Arion, Songs No One Will Hear. It's a strange album title. Inside Out music for some progressive, operatic, progressive rock. Appaloosa, The Emperor of Loss for some stoner doom on Ripple Music. Baal Hatar, Tanzerlock on Rockshots Records. Barons, Corpse Lights on Pelagic Records. Behemoth, the re-release of Pandemonic Incantations on Metal Blade Records. They dropped a new music video for that this week. Bergesverden, I Hagens Afton on Ducktone Records, so some Viking metal. Between the Buried and Me, or as I like to call them, Between the Pillow and Me. Oh, Curtis is here. What's up, brother? Yep. Thanks for buzzing in. Sorry I couldn't pick you up. I'm almost done with my show. I'll talk to you soon on the flippity flip side. Between the Buried and Me, the Blue Nowhere, Booze and Glory, Whiskey Tango, Foxtrot on Concrete Jungle Records, Caesarean, Wretched Decrepitude EP on Horror, Pain, Gore, Death Records, Crippling Alcoholism, Cam Girl on Portrayal of Guilt Records. This is from Portrayal of Guilt, the band. They are now putting out bands. That's cool. Crucible, Hail to the Forest from the Vaults record. Dazzling Tillman, the re-release of the Dig Out the Switch. We'll have a review of that coming up this weekend or next week early on Skingraft Records. De Weg eine Freiheit, Innern on Season of Mist, great black metal band. Die Spitz, Something to Consume on Third Man Records. That's Jack White's record label. Dreamlord, Artificial Imprisonment. Electromancy, I think this is a robot metal band. Visions of Utopia, self-released. Exhilarate, Hell for the Helpless from the Vaults Records again. Glutton, Skiva Heter Vishnu on Apollon Records. Infernal Thorns, Christus Venari. Intercourse, How I Fell in Love with the Void on the Great Brutal Panda Records. Icy Stars for some emo metalcore. The Wheel on Sumerian Records. Joe Quayle, fan for life right here. Joe Quayle is an incredible avant-garde artist who plays like electric cello through distorted amps and pedals. Incredible stuff. Don, you would like her. Notan on Adderstone Records. Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti 50th Anniversary Edition on Atlantic Records. Lorna Shore, I Feel the Ever Black Festering Within Me, Century Media. Look out for my review tomorrow. Loot, self-titled pop-punk band from Indie Recordings. A few more. Motley Crue from the Beginning, the definitive collection of Motley Crue hits. Gross on BMG Records. Never Tell for some more metalcore. Start Again, Epitaph Records. Nicolas Cage Fighter, best named band in the world right now. I Watched You Burn on Bleeding Art Collective. We have an interview coming with them eventually. The Finnish Punks, The Rasmus, Weirdo on Better Noise Music. Raven Black, big fan here of them also. Gothic Rock, Black Sonata. Let's see, Restraining Order for some hardcore. Future Fortune on Blue Grape Music. Slowmatics. Atomic Cult on Majestic Mountain Records for some psychedelic rock. Doom. Stargazer, Stone Cold Creatures on Mighty Music. Sweet Life re-release on Metalville Records. Sweet Savage, Bang, that's a new record from Sweet Savage, Ear Music. Syrinx, must be Rush fans. Time Out of Place on Ocula Records. And Year of the Goat, Trivia Goodness on Napalm Records. So that is all your New Music Friday. And now it is time for the last section of the show, the mailbag. And I have a really cool thing in the mailbag to show you all. I'm really pumped about this. So I got new shelves for my house to hold my records, and my collection was kind of all over the place. And I had some stuff in the closet behind me here that you never see here. There's flags of bands behind me, and I have records in the closet. And I was like, oh, I should put those in the shelves now that I have enough shelves. How's my records? And I found a bunch of stuff I never opened. So I have a bunch of stuff I never opened from like 3-4 years ago that was just kind of sitting around. And I have a bunch of records from Record Store Day, Black Friday last year that were sent to me and a couple I bought. So I will be checking some vinyl in the coming weeks on all my different shows. A. Harris says, do I want to check out a band that's been around out of Arkansas? I Am the Catalyst. Cool, I will check them out. Why don't you DM me a link to their music? That's the best way to get me to check out a band, is to DM me a link to their music. What's up, Mike? New shelves, extra presents. I'm telling you, man, like birthday, like a birthday present you forgot all about. Appreciate you guys for being here. Mark Badger's here. What's up, Mark? We're just ending the show soon, but I did want to share what I got this week in the mailbag. And this is, I think this was a Gimme Metal release in 2021 or 2022. This is Once Sent from the Golden Hall by a Monomorph. Now, I'm going to be honest, I like a Monomorph live a little more than I like their records, and I like their earlier stuff. That was like the straight up death metal. And I feel like, speaking of phoning it in, Dillinger Compound, I think a Monomorph is kind of not phoning it in, but leveled up off to a place where they're not trying to make new great music. They've got their vibe, this Viking death metal, and it's fun, and they're great live, and I love the classic stuff, but I think they're not trying anymore. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying. So I'm going to unbox this really quick and show it to you. So came with all the stuff. I got to give a shout out to Metal Blade. This is from Metal Blade Records. I don't think this originally was not on vinyl, if I'm mistaken. We've got a Monomorph, the old school Monomorph. Martin Lopez, formerly of Opeth and currently of Soen, played on this record, by the way. And I think Frederick Atkinson left a Monomorph to go to Opeth, which is wild. But this was the 4-piece Monomorph, right? And then lyrics on the back. So that's fun. They sing in English despite being Swedish. And it came with a giant-ass poster that I'll show you in a second. Look at this beautiful Metal Blade reissue vinyl Mylar sleeve inside the paper with the print design on the paper. You never see something like this. This is dope. And I think, yep, this is on this like kind of bronze pattern. So like a little translucent, milky poo water, or, you know, like bronze, like a hammer. Kind of fun. Side A, side B, one vinyl only. No need for the two. And let's just open up this poster and see what it do. I don't think I would put up an Monomorph poster, but maybe I will give it in a gift, as I'll give it to someone. So there's two sides. There's the album artwork here. And then here's the band on the back. If you love a Monomorph. Somebody out there loves this band like something fierce. And it's kind of fun that they didn't try to update this poster, and it's actually like Martin Lopez in the photo with them, which is fun, you know. I'll go with Enslaved. Thank you very much. Dude, I love Enslaved so much. I love them so much. I cannot wait for a new Enslaved album. I still have the hype sticker from outside, so that's kind of cool. Again, shout out the Ultimate Vinyl Edition Red. It's clear red and blue marbled vinyl, but I don't think that looked very red and blue to me, did it? Anyway, that is our show. I had this picture of Monomorph I never showed you guys. You know, this is a great shot. This is taken by my partner Omar Cordy at the recent Pantera tour. So they got the Viking ship with the drums on it, these giant Viking statues on each side of the stage. You know, they put on a spectacle. I don't know if they're really one of my favorite bands, but anyway, anymore. But yeah, I'm a much more of an Enslaved guy. Anyhow, thanks for being here and watching one more week. We'll be back next week. I've got at least a couple of live streams, including my birthday live stream. So come hang out with me and talk about anything you want to, and maybe tip me some record money. And, you know, thanks for everybody. This is a very manageable, less than 1 hour. As I always say, it's a shout out to Bob Murphy there, Mike, if you're watching, who used to say, well, the Mets game is over in a very manageable 2 hours and 45 minutes. And anything under 3 hours is unmanageable. So, anywho, I started the show with this sentiment. I'm going to end the show with this sentiment. It is a very, you got in the mail today, Black Sabbath box set with Tony Martin. Mark, I have that. It was like the one big expense I made last year, and I loved it. You know, they're not great records, but I love Tony. Tony's voice is great, and there are some good riffs on there. Good shit there, Mark. It's worth it. Crystal Langdon is also here. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for everybody for being here. Have a good weekend. Be safe. And as I say every week at this juncture of the show, it's a tough time in the world. Please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay as metal as humanly possible. And I am going to dance a jig on the way out and do the show. Thanks for everything. And we'll see you next time. Peace. All right, at least the outro music worked. I'll dance a jig. The intro music did not work.